Hello, everybody, and welcome to Betweenplays Stock Market Strategies. Today we have with us Mitchell Scott from The Better Butchers. How you doing, Mitchell?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Hey, no problem. I heard a little bit about the company from, I guess, a person that we both know. I thought it was really interesting, and he was just like, "Hey, I got this guy. Maybe you want to go on the show?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" But before we get into The Better Butchers, let's just talk a little bit about yourself. What a little bit about your background and stuff like that, and of course, naturally, the Better Butchers. We'll get into the companies, your comparables, and stuff like your competition, and let's take it off from there. So, Mitchell, what brings you to being a CEO, and what brings you to the world of companies that are not truly meat products anymore, but in that fashion?
Yeah. I live out here on the west coast of Canada. Grew up vegetarian, so I'd never really eaten any meat. Had grown up eating these veggie burgers, which honestly weren't very good. They were kind of pasty.
Yeah.
Didn't taste great. And I guess about 10 years or so ago, I was at this family barbecue and I tried this burger and my mind was blown. It was like, it tasted great. It was healthy. It had these great ingredients. And my sister's brother's sister's husband
Okay.
was so like step brother-in-law once removed or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
This chef from England was over here. He was making these veggie burgers and stuff in his kitchen and selling them at the local farmers market on this little Gulf island we were on. And yeah, we got to chatting. I was like, I'd always kind of wanted to start a business or a company, had never had what I thought was a really good idea or a good solid product. Um, and yeah, it kind of worked out great. We decided to start a company. We ended up opening the first vegan butcher shop on the west coast of Canada. Had about 1,000 people show up for our opening day, and had a really crazy kind of run in the public markets, scale up whole kind of roller coaster there. And
Yeah.
so that was my last company in this space. At the end of the day, there we kind of raised a lot of money, kind of invested in a lot of manufacturing, growing as quickly as possible. We definitely had some governance issues, kind of at the board level.
Okay.
And as the market kind of boomed and busted, they decided to get rid of me. And then about a year or so later, that company went out of business. And
Well,
I,
that's pretty harsh.
yeah,
The way it was put too, they decided to get rid of me. Company went bankrupt, or just out.
a year later,
It's like, you know
a
what,
year
you gotta,
later.
you wonder if the correlation is there.
Yeah, I don't know. But what is I mean, what we got really great right about that company was the products. So like the highest quality butcher shop quality products.
Okay.
Customers love them. I got messages from stores saying, these guys found out you guys were going out of business and they bought $2,000 worth of product to take home and put in their freezer.
Oh,
So there was that really strong customer demand. I mean, we'd scaled the business. We were in 4,000 plus stores across North America, 15 plus SKUs.
that's good.
Um, what was, I think, challenging there was just, we were chasing growth really aggressively, and we were building out our own manufacturing.
Okay.
So it's like a whole other complex thing. We couldn't find any co-packers that could make the products at a quality level we were happy with. So we, kind of invested in this manufacturing capacity, probably
Yeah.
overinvested. Anyways, that was the last company. This time around, have taken that core piece that really resonated with consumers. So that butcher shop aesthetic, high quality products. And it's essentially a reboot or a love letter to that previous company. And yeah, happy to share more about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you're saying that, back in the day it was pasty and stuff like that, I just like protein shakes. I used to go to the gym when I got the white hair to prove my age. Back in the day when Arnold was doing pump and iron and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they were just horrible.
Yeah.
Or the protein bars, all these things. It's just like you ate it and it was just like, oh my god. But yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of products out there that right now are, have evolved. You know,
Yeah.
so, and in your case, you're not a public company right now. You're private, but is your company making revenue at the moment?
Yeah, we are absolutely.
Oh,
So what we did with this company is we found this new type of ingredient. So it's a blend of oyster mushrooms and pea protein. So it
ooh,
doesn't have that pea protein aftertaste. It's got a lot of the kind of health benefits of mushrooms, high in protein. And this is really where we see the gap currently in the plant-based market. So products have come a long way. There's some, pretty good products out there. A lot of the kind of bigger ones, like the Beyonds and the Impossibles of the world, decent tasting products. Customers are pushing back on long ingredient lists, on over processing. And then you've got kind of some other multinationals and players that maybe they've got better ingredients, but they still aren't delivering on product quality. So that's
Okay.
really where we see the gap. So can we put out, high quality, great tasting products with a clean ingredient list, with good health benefits, and still have them at an accessible price point? So we've been in the market 2 years with three SKUs: a
Okay.
natural, an Italian, and a Chorizo, which won Product of the Year 2 years ago. So it's the best
Cool.
new food product in BC. So not just plant-based.
Okay.
And yeah, we're in about 300 stores. We're growing quickly, generating revenue, and kind of working on that next phase of expansion and growth for us.
Well, that's crazy because I was just about to ask, well, what is the next phase of expansion for you guys? What are you looking to do exactly?
Yeah, so I think we've kind of proven out, we've got product market fit.
Yeah.
This time around, we're going very lean on the CapEx side. So
Yes.
we've designed the products to be easier to manufacture. We found really good co-packing partners. So essentially, our focus is one, developing the best products we can, and
Yeah.
then selling and marketing those products. Obviously with using good partners for production.
Yes.
That's really the focus right now. We've kind of proven it out, and we're going to now scale it further. So expanding across Canada, expanding into the US, eventually going into Europe as well.
Well,
And that's with our current product line, but then also launching new SKUs, launching new innovation, really wanting to kind of replicate that butcher shop quality and selection, but at a larger scale. So kind of in grocery stores, in multiple channels.
so basically, when we were having a discussion last week
Mhm.
to lead up to the interview, you were saying something about the fact that your basically the way you make your food, okay,
Mhm.
is that trying to look at a good way of putting this
Yeah.
without your competitors, saying, "Hey, wait a minute," but you know what? Let's just say, let's put it out there. So basically, there's something about the way you process, or there's ingredients, or there's something about it that you're like, listen, it's just people are paying attention to this now, whereas this makes us stand out from the rest.
Yeah. So I think where, people are now used to having, more options in terms of plant-based meat and food, and they're starting to take a closer look at what is actually in these products.
Yes.
Um, and so for us, it's let's use as few ingredients as possible. Let's keep it and soy free, so that soy free, gluten free. A lot of other options use different kind of allergens or soy. And yeah, really just having that cleaning, and that's not just to plant-based meat. You look kind of across the board in
Yeah.
food products, and
Yeah.
clean ingredients are big. Nutritional benefits are
Absolutely.
more and more. It's not just about putting out, a product that fits a use case. Customers are becoming more aware and kind of shopping
Absolutely.
and reading
Absolutely.
labels and becoming a bit more conscious, I guess.
They are, and you know what? We do have the applications in today's world that you can just. I don't remember the name of. There's an app out there that you just take a picture of the product,
Yeah.
and then it tells you a scale on 1 to 10 how good and how bad it is for you, and then it
Yeah.
tells you why. So I mean, people are more health conscious. I mean, I made that whole thing about pumping iron before, but the
Mhm.
thing is that when you go back in the day, people were smoking cigarettes. They thought it was great, Hollywood style and all this kind of stuff. And so elegant with the long stems with the
Yes.
ladies, remember? But the thing is that then we started with the gyms. Oh, you need to train, you need to move, whatever. Now we're in a phase, evolution, where people are starting to understand when they're reading the packages, like, oh, I don't think I really want that inside of me. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
want the red dye, whatever,
Wow.
that's on certain candies anymore. Yeah, we're all starting to get it. Even someone that's 53 years old, like myself, we're all starting to get it. Everybody's starting to understand that, your body's your temple. We always knew that, but we just didn't know that what they were giving us, if it fit to be inside our bodies. So what
Yeah.
you're saying is that that's what you're thinking of, not just the fact that it has to taste good.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's what number one, it's got to taste good and have a good texture, or people are going to try it once and never return. And that's what a lot of the brands in the category, unfortunately, is happening, right? People will try it and then never come back.
Yeah.
So that needs to be nailed. And then you layer on top of that kind of clean ingredients, good nutritionals. And our goal is to have something that people are buying week in and week out. And not just, vegans or vegetarians, but people whose doctors said, eat a little bit less meat. Like we get reviews all the time for people like, wow, I didn't realize that wasn't meat, or it tastes the same, or this is I
Yeah.
actually prefer this because it's not as greasy, or
That's good.
so it's really about introducing it to people as,
Yeah.
something that they can just incorporate into whatever, kind of diet that they're working on.
And I'm curious, can you get any of this products online?
Yes. So we ship across the country out of Vancouver.
Yeah.
So you can order a box of meat. Give me your address after this. I'll ship you a sample box.
Oh, that would be great. Actually, I'll put it on the show. I'll eat it, man. I'll put it on the show.
Perfect.
Absolutely. I'll do
Love
that
it.
for sure. So we can
Um,
order it online.
You
Yeah.
can order online. We're in about 300 stores across the country, mainly in the kind of natural and independents. And yeah, kind of we started out west, so we're in
Yeah.
more stores out
Well, of
west.
course. That's normal. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we've
And
got
then you evolve out. So
yeah,
basically, you're in retail stores, so some people can pick it up.
yeah, we
Right.
got a store locator on our website.
Oh, but that's perfect. See, that's great. That's great to know. So store locator on the website. We can order from the website as well. The
Yeah,
Better Butchers. And when are you thinking about going public?
yeah. So I guess the whole reason we're looking at it because it's not the traditional path for like a small food company. The traditional path is kind of either bootstrap or like kind of go down that VC route and kind of grind and grind for 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
But with my last company, we went public at 25 cents a share, went up all the way up to 9.50.
Whoa.
And
Hold
kind
on a second.
of
You went from 25 cents a share to $9.50.
yeah. Uh, so you
That's
know,
that
and then
makes
all the
me
way
smile.
and then all the way back and then all the way back down again. I mean, there was a big plant-based bubble, market
Yeah,
cap,
yeah. It
you
happened in a
know,
lot of spaces,
yeah.
cannabis, lithium, whatever. It
So
happens. But that's great. I mean, you got to be there before that happens, right?
so that being said, like learned a lot about the capital markets, how they
Yeah.
work, and I see it as a viable option to fund this company moving forward. I think we can achieve a pretty similar growth rate, and just run a much kind of leaner, more capital light model. So yeah, so we've tied up a shell, and we're gonna be listing on the CSE is the goal, likely early fall. So end of September, early October is the rough tentative timeline.
Okay.
And would love to come back on the show and chat about it once we're public or once we're getting closer to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But now you've intrigued me. You've intrigued
Yeah.
me about this whole 25 cents and nine something. I mean, because we're always looking for opportunities, right? I mean, if whoever's not looking for opportunities in life, what's
Yeah.
opportunities in everything in life. So the
Mhm.
thing is that so you being out there before, I mean, you have experience, so you know pretty much what you should be looking for and what not. I mean, I don't really want to go into the whole structure of the shell and all this kind of stuff. I like to have you on another time, and then
Yeah.
when the company goes public. But what I'm saying is that and honestly, it's more of a rhetorical kind of question,
Mhm.
but because of the experiences that you had, what makes a stock move and what you need to bring to the market, and not only to the stock market, but also what you're bringing to the retail market.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that, having done it that time, I learned like I was fresh into the whole thing in terms of fresh into the food business, fresh into the capital markets business. So learned a ton along the way.
Yeah.
And even on the business side. So this time around, it's been much kind of quicker in terms of getting new listings, setting up
Oh yeah.
distribution, building things out. And I think that's going to apply. Obviously, it's a completely different market. But I
Oh
think,
yeah. 100%.
we've got a good team. We kind of know what needs to be done.
Yes.
We've done our homework. We've gotten some old war wounds,
Yeah.
and we're
Exactly.
excited to be kind of running it back.
That's awesome. All right. Well, cool. So Mitchell Scott, CEO, the Better Butchers. So like to have you back on, Mitchell. And
Yeah.
listen, I'm giving you my address right after this.
All right, love it. Thanks
All
so much
right.
for coming on the show. Cheers.
Cheers.
Between Plays, it's the journey and what you do between where you are and where you want to be. Research, prepare, plan, and execute your strategy. Do your DD and stay strong in visualizing and achieving your goals. Our strategy is unique since 2020. An original concept imitated, never duplicated. Real conversations with media influencers, educational and expert speakers, analysts and consultants. Between Plays, bridging the gap between companies and investors.